Good evening, everyone. How you doing on this fine Thursday evening, Friday? But the most importantly, happy December. Christmas is just around the corner, so let the celebrations begin. I've got myself a nice Spanish red wine, a lovely Tempranillo, and of course I'm wearing my Spain shirt. Well, my son is half Spanish after all, which is an advantage for me because I usually do then have someone to cheer on when it's the Euros and the World Cup. But green and white army to the hilt. Don't worry about that. Northern Ireland is where my heart will always be. So you've got the red wine, and I was actually thinking about JJ and the half Spanish side of things, and just communities here in Belfast in general, especially in my my sort of close vicinity. I've lived down here, near the city centre, just off the Ravenhill Road for for quite a few years now, since moving up from or moving across back over from Spain again. But JJ, my son, he never really ventured outside much. Well, he was young anyway. I mean, he's 9 now, but 5, 6, 7. I was on my own with him, so I sort of didn't really trust him going out onto the streets by himself. Whenever I just wanted to keep an eye on him all the time, sort of thing. Just that paternal sort of protection. Um, but this is like it's a strange wee story, but it's a good one, and I promise you, it really is, and it's quite recent. So towards the end of the summer, um, the kids out in the street were getting together, and they all already had like wee cliques, wee gangs, sort of thing, and obviously JJ wasn't part of it. Um, so they were going round, and the kids were actually causing a bit of trouble, and they were doing wee silly things, knocking the door and running away, or throwing stuff at the window and running away or whatever. And you know, one day I was coming back from a gig in Larne actually, and I saw a bunch of them all in the street, and I got them all together and said, "Do you know there's people with cameras now, up in their houses, and they can see that it's you, and if you're getting up to trouble, you're going to end up with the police coming." And they were all, "Oh, where's the cameras? Where's the cameras?" And I actually pointed up, and right enough there was one house with a camera at the pointing down onto the street. So they were all sort of thing. And I said, but enjoy yourselves anyway. But don't be don't be getting up to badness, sort of thing. And as kids do, sort of thing. They also, because I was being sort of half nice to them, and they knew that I lived here, just in the area. They sort of started asking me questions about that. Is that your house there? And you support Liverpool and all this carry on. Where's your son? And I went, well, my son is with his mum, because this was the weekend. So JJ was with his mum, and she doesn't live too far away from here. So they said, whereabouts, which house? And I said, it's one of the houses, the first house on the right, round the corner. And the kids all, I mean, this made me laugh, because the kids all went, "Oh, is that the house with the Russian woman?" And I went, "What? No, she's not Russian, she's Spanish, Oh no, such and such said that she was a Russian woman, And I go, "No, she's Spanish. Is that why you've been running up and knocking her door and running away and stuff like that?" And they're going, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And I go, "No, she's Spanish, and JJ's half Spanish," and just a wee conversation. And then they all turned around and said, "Come and go around and apologise to it, the lady." So I brought them all around. There were about 8 or 9 of them. Brought them all around to JJ's mum's house. Knocked the door, And JJ came to the door and I says, "Go and get your mum, will you?" And Bea came to the front door, and there were all these kids all standing going, "We're really sorry, about if we caused you any distress," sort of thing. And they were all really civilized, youngsters, all ranging from JJ's age to a wee bit older, a wee bit younger, sort of thing. So that was great, and then I came back around home again, poured myself a drink and or whatever. This was after a gig, so I was in sort of wind down mode, and Bea, my ex, sent me a text to thank me, for bringing the kids round, to sort it out, because it was, it had been going on for a wee while, and it had been quite intimidating, kids just, being kids. And she says, in actual fact, JJ is now out with them playing in the street. And I'm going, "Phew." Now that this is the end of summer, it was September, but the nights were, the days were still long, still nice and bright and stuff. And I was fine with it because I can look out my window out onto the street, and if JJ's playing with the kids, then they're there, and in fact, they would knock on my door and I was saying, "Will you stop annoying me?" "Yeah, but JJ says we can come in and see your fish," or whatever, And then JJ would trips in, because this is as much his house as his mum's is. And so that's a kind of a lovely wee relationship developed between JJ and the other kids, which turned from a sort of a powder keg of sort of intimidation and what could have been, a bad thing, and they're a really lovely thing. And the kids are all from different backgrounds, there's a couple of Polish kids, young Alex, young gentleman, and you only find this out when you get them all together, and then you realize that they've got far more in common than they have, keeping them apart, sort of thing. But now this is long-winded for me to get to the point, because my point isn't actually anything to do with what I have been talking about. It has in a way, but it's not the end game. So as I say, it was around about September time, and JJ's just forming these allegiances, and everything's going great. But then of course the darker nights come in, and it's like, the streets just become empty. The kids aren't playing on the street anymore on cold, October nights, sort of thing. And I was going, that's such a pity, because he's just building up this lovely relationship with the local kids, which is standing him in good stead for the future. And then all of a sudden, all the kids are trapped in their houses, and basically everything shuts down for the for the winter. But this is the point that I would like to make, and it's big thanks actually to Danielle Wilton, who along with some other lovely people round in Lagan Village in the community centre. She organises a club. It's not just for kids. I mean, there's one day it could be for pensioners, or one morning it could be for mothers with who want to bring their kids around or whatever. But every night, from 6 o'clock to 7:30, she's there, and the kids that can't meet in the street meet there in a really safe environment, and they have so much fun, and it's not just a matter of running around in a room. There are other little rooms, and JJ can go off and draw, or there's one maybe one night the kids are all baking cookies